Welcome to another episode of United Talks podcast. Bruno scores a hat trick to send Manchester United into the quarterfinals of the Europa League. Manchester United's emphatic 4-1 victory over Real Sociedad, which meant that we had a 5-2 on aggregate victory at Old Trafford, secured a place in the Europa League quarterfinals. I mean, Bruno Fernandes hat trick was the highlight of the dominant performance, but there were several key takeaways for the game. I mean, here's a breakdown. I'm gonna give you like a breakdown of 7 key takeaways from the game. And but don't forget to like, share, subscribe, hit notification bell so you don't have to miss anything as it relates to Manchester United. Let me know your thoughts and feelings and in the comment section. And here we go. Let's get into it. So number one, Bruno Fernandes heroics, captain's performance, basically. Hat trick hero. He was the star of the show, scoring 2 penalties and a late goal to complete his hat trick. His composure from the spot, his clinical finishing were crucial, in turning the tie into United's favor, helping us win. I mean, he's a record breaker. That's another point to note on Bruno Fernandes' performance. Fernandes became the first United player to score a hat trick in a major European competition since Marcus Rashford in 2020, and he also surpassed Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang as the all-time top scorer in the Europa League, 41 goal involvements. That is amazing. Now, based on leadership, it was just beyond goals. His energy, creativity, leadership also were instrumental in driving United forward. His unselfish play, including a clever pass to Rasmus in the build up to the first penalty, showcased his all round contribution. I mean, he came from deep to latch onto that pass from Casemiro. That was going to be a square play for Rasmus to just tap in, and then Rasmus was tackled from behind, which led to a penalty. Now, number two was penalty drama and VAR, you know. So I wrote this as VAR giveth, VAR taketh away. It was interesting. So there were some controversial calls. There were some controversial calls. I mean, the game was heavily influenced by VAR decision. Real Sociedad's early penalty awarded after a harsh call against Matheus de Ligt gave them the lead. However, United quickly responded with a penalty of their own after Højlund was fouled in the box. Right, and then the second penalty, Patrick Dogu won another penalty early in the second half, which Fernandes converted to give United the lead. You know, potential third penalty was overturned by VAR, but it didn't matter as United were already in control. And thanks to Patrick Dogu, who basically told the ref it wasn't a pen, it wasn't a pen, right? So we could see him mouth into the ref that it wasn't a pen. And then another one is all number three actually is Joshua Zirkzee's all-round brilliance. Unselfish play. He didn't get on the score sheet, but his contribution was immense. Created chances, held up the ball well, and played a key role in the build-up to several goals, including the pass that led to John Aramburu's red card. Held the ball up, controlled the ball, found a nice switch for Patrick Dogu, and then Aramburu got a red card. So, and Aramburu just came on, just pulled Dogu down and all that. His ability to connect the midfield attack was vital, and his understanding with Fernandes and Garnacho was also, a constant threat to Real Sociedad's defense. It was easier for him, and he played really well. Like, nothing, didn't put a foot wrong, basically. Even if he lost the ball in the first half, he went back and fought for the ball. And that's what I noticed with the entire team, basically. When they lose the ball, they run back to challenge and win the ball. Rasmus had that, ran back to challenge to win the ball back, defensive recovery and all of that. Number four, Alejandro Garnacho's electric impact, basically, was a constant threat, was a live wire on the left, on the right flank, using his pace and skill to torment Real Sociedad's defense. I mean, his assist for Fernandes' hat-trick goal was a moment of quality because he was running directly from the halfway line, like before, from inside the United half. And then for him to actually think, okay, I have two options. There's Rasmus on my left, and then there's Garnacho and Bruno running on the other side. But Bruno was more open. He broke the play and fouled Bruno one-on-one. Bruno just slightly, nicely placed it for the third goal. So, yeah, had an impact. Work rate, Garnacho's pressing and defensive contributions. I mean, we saw that press from the first half where he actually really pressed the ball and slid and held and won, you know, gave a throw in, but it was a good press. I mean, his pressing defensive contribution was also notable, showcasing his growing maturity and importance to the team. And I believe he's growing into the sort of player that and the sort of impact player that Ruben Amorim would want in his squad. So yeah, it was a great performance from Alejandro Garnacho. And then another one is a defensive brilliance after a defensive brilliance or resilience after an early setback. I mean, it was a shock start for Man United, a shaky one. United conceded early after a controversial penalty decision, but the defense regrouped well. Aiden Heaven making his full debut, which is a good shout out to him. Aiden Heaven made his full debut for Man United, played the full 90 minutes, looked very composed, assured alongside Delict, and Delict also leading from the back as well. It was really great to see, that defensive resilience, pressing high. And he felt like he had been in the squad for a long time, but literally just signed in January, right? So, and for 1 million, or and the transfer market says an excess of, or the news update says an in excess of 1 million will go from Arsenal. So, yeah, it's a good cover. I mean, I think we're covered in that regard when it comes to center backs for the left side. So, and then the red card also gave us an advantage. The red card for a last man foul on Dogu effectively ended Real Sociedad's hope of a comeback, and United capitalized on the numerical advantage. It was a struggle for the first maybe 5-10 minutes of that numerical advantage, but then the rest it was just plain sailing, attack from defense to attack, transition play, long balls, and into the box and all of that. So, and then shout out to Casemiro's brilliant performance as well, holding the fort, sliding, tackling, winning balls, passing and moving the play transitionally, always finding Bruno every time he gets the chance, or even finding that long pass over the rest of that defense for Alejandro Garnacho, or switching the ball for Patrick Dogo, or trying to find that in between play. I think I can really count like 2 or 3 mistakes he made. One of the mistakes was the one where he played the ball too long for Garnacho. Another one was the one he played the ball too long for Patrick Dogo, and another one again was the one where he played the ball too heavy for Aiden Heaven, which almost created a chance for Real Sociedad. But I mean, overall, Casemiro, like great performance. He must have seen in the player ratings, and then so it was pretty much great performance from the team. Shout out to Aiden Heaven. Shout out to Patrick Dogo, and shout out to Joshua Zirkzee as well as Rasmus Højlund. They did really well. And then obviously Diogo Dalot, Diogo Dalot's late flourish. It's one of the games that we needed him to step up. He's had a roller coaster kind of season where some games is up, other games is down. The next game is up, next game is down. So he got a goal and an assist to cap off, a strong performance with a late goal. I mean, he hammered home Hoyland's cut back in stoppage time, and he also provided the width and the energy down the right flank throughout the game. His versatility and his ability to contribute both defensively and offensively continues to make him a key player for Amorim. And I believe Amorim favors him. But based on Diogo Dalot, I think we need another right back. We need another right back. If obviously some players are going to go, if we are going to most probably use Nozema Mazraoui as one of our versatile right-sided players and right side and right back, then because Nozema Mazraoui seems to be the kind of player that Ruben Amorim likes, then we might need another right back, either one or two right backs, to compete for that position because we need players who are flying wingers. If Ahmad comes back, then Ahmad and Garnacho are going to be vying for the same role, same position, or most probably playing together. We need one attacking midfielder, one central midfielder, or a defensive midfielder to replace Ericsson when he goes. And then we need another right back and one more striker. But it is what it is. We might sign 3 or 4 players in the summer, but it depends. Let's see how it goes. So Dalo was impressive. We could also get from the academy. I mean, there are some good guys that are coming up there, especially in the 18s. So it is what it is. So number 7, which is the last but not least, Ruben Amorim's tactical mastery. There are some tactics that went on in that game that we saw in the first leg, but we saw it more emphatic in the second leg. Game management, his decision to start Zirkzee and Garnacho paid off. as both players were instrumental. I mean, we literally didn't even have anybody, United's attacking play, but his substitutions, including bringing on Christian Eriksen, helped maintain control, even though it was only at the 88th minute in the latter stages. But he also had some interesting passes as well, some switch of plays and all of that. There was an aggressive approach and pressing, high pressing and quick transitions, which overwhelmed Real Sociedad at times. Particularly after the red card, Amorim's tactics ensured that United dominated possession and created numerous chances. You must have seen that I stated this in the stats in the player ratings. But yeah. And then overall, to sum this all up, Manchester United's 4-1 victory over Real Sociedad was a statement performance with Bruno Fernandes leading the charge with a hat trick, and the team showed resilience. I mean, shout out to Bruno Fernandes, who showed up with a hat trick and also showed up with great resilience for the team to show and to lead from the front. And it was good to hear, as I said earlier, from Paul Scholes that he showed up. I mean, captain's performance and all of that, but I don't want any buts with Bruno Fernandes. I just say he's doing well, he's performing well, and that's it. He's performing well, and that's it. So we don't need all those like, oh, he did this, but he should be doing this and all of that. Bruno Fernandes performed well for Man United, and that's all we need, right? So the team showed some resilience after an early setback, and the contribution of Zirkzee, Garnacho, and Dalot highlighted the depth and quality in the squad. We need more players, but Amorim's tactical approach and Fernandes' heroic have set an exciting quarterfinal clash against Lyon. United fans will be hopeful that the performance can be a springboard for a strong finish to the season. I mean, we are challenging on two fronts. Challenging in the sense that we are challenging to win the Europa League. And I told some of my friends something which they might clip me up, but it is what it is. I said it with chest out that we should be able to win the Europa League. So if we put up good performances and our players coming from injury, we should be able to win the Europa League. So I'm saying it with chest out again. We should be able to win. And then, yeah. And then with regards to the second front that we're challenging is to climb up the table in the league. So let me know your thoughts and feelings in the comment section. And don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't have to miss anything as it relates to Manchester United. And yeah, so United are very hopeful. We're hopeful to finish the season really strong in the Europa League and also climb up the table and come at least to the first half of the table in the Premier League. So it is what it is. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts and feelings in the comment section below. Like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you don't have to miss anything as it relates to Manchester United. And I'll see you on the next one. Take care, goodbye, and God bless.